Okay, it is 6:40, and this is the City of Sandy Oaks Parks Advisory Committee meeting agenda. Notice is hereby given that a meeting of the Sandy Oaks Parks Advisory Committee will be held on Tuesday, June 1st at 6:40 p.m. by telephonic video conferencing for the purpose of considering the following agenda items. All agenda items are subject to action. In addition, to advance the public health goal of limiting face-to-face meetings, all also called social distancing, to slow the spread of the coronavirus, there will be no in-person public access to the meeting, except those people that are invited for meeting purposes. The public may participate in this meeting by using, and I won't read the link because it's published on the agenda, and I won't give the meeting ID, that's also published. The public will be permitted to offer public comments telephonically or by audio as provided by the agenda and as permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting. Written questions or comments may be submitted to the chairperson up to 2 hours before the meeting by emailing trapino@cityofsandyoaks.com. And so I will call the meeting to order and get a quorum call. And
I will try to read everybody's name. How's that?
okay,
Okay. Chair Tom Rapino.
here. Very good.
Activities Director Gloria
Yeah.
Sarmiento.
Here.
Raylyn McDonald.
Here.
Said the thing.
Ann Garza.
Here.
Charles Fillinger.
He's unavoidably absent.
And Ruth Carball is absent.
Yeah,
But you do have a quorum.
right. So we have a quorum, so the meeting is in order. And so I did check to see if there were any citizens to be heard, agenda item 2, and there were none. So we'll move on to agenda item 3, discussing possible action on progress on the butterfly site. And there was little progress because of the weather. We did go out there the Saturday before last where we were going to proceed to do some work in the butterfly area, but the weather did not permit. We did do a few things by moving some lumber that we had gotten. And this past week, Charles was out there and he mowed in the back there a little bit, and he did move that lumber into the yard out there. So,
It looks
so
good.
that, yeah, that has been done. So hopefully the weather will permit and we'll get back out there and get some work done. I know somebody told me it's going to rain all week. I don't know if that is
Yeah.
I hope not, because they're working on my roof tonight. So are there any discussion on that agenda item 3? If not, I'll move on to agenda item 4, discuss and possible action on updates for the community center. And I'll let you take that away.
Okay, so we've been getting a lot of donations from a lot of different people. The last donation we got were some board games, and we got 2 sofas in there. We got some books. What else have we got? We've gotten a whole bunch of things.
The love seat.
The love seat, the furniture, the
Sell receipt.
a big sofa, and like a recliner type of thing.
What was calling?
Yeah, it's about probably the quote on the roof. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
didn't
no,
mean-
no, you're fine, you're fine. So we've gotten that. I brought some swatches because I tried cleaning the walls there. No, for my taste, I would like brighter and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted to keep it neutral, so I brought 4 different swatches to keep it mellowed out.
I'm going to keep color.
Okay. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
I'll help you out too.
Okay, color. So perfect. So I thought we still have a whole bunch of that paint that we've been using for like the outside.
Okay.
Do we still have a lot of paint?
As far as I know.
I think we do.
I, be-
We
I,
So-
should.
I believe it's in that little storage room between
middle
the
door.
bathrooms.
We don't have a lot
That's
of
where
more
it
painting
was.
outside to do, so I think we would still have maybe 3 gallons of each.
I would say
Buy new paint? What do you
Yes.
think?
pick colors, buy new paint.
How many gallons will it take?
It depends. Because you may need to prime those walls
5 gallons? Okay.
to do all of them. That's not bad.
At least 5 gallons.
Well, I had gotten prices. I have pictures here of prices for the 5-gallon ones. But there's always the oops ones, and those are always the bright ones.
I
So
like these.
me too. Okay, perfect. So we'll go from there. But I'll buy a 5-gallon, like the
I would buy, I mean, are you planning to paint all the walls the same color?
no, I didn't want to. I mean, if you're giving me a choice here.
Well, I would prefer not to. I mean,
Okay.
that's my preference.
Yeah, well,
Because I think you can create different ambiance in different areas.
yes, like the reading area, which is with the little books and all that stuff, and then over here the open area where we want to hold the meetings and everything, I think should be a different color.
I agree.
Okay, oh my god, this is so much fun. Okay, so then forget my swatches. You don't know how hard it was to like keep it
Neutral.
neutral. I was like, it's not
That's no
me.
fun.
No. So there's that, and other than that, I think we're building it up. I invited Miss Megan. I met with her. She donated some game boards, and I met with her, and I think she has a lot to offer. She really kind of guided me. So if we have a little time, could we, like, she could introduce herself and
Yes.
Okay, my name is Megan. It's Aviles now, but formerly I was Lucio, so y'all may know me by Megan Lucio. But I worked at San Antonio Housing Authority for 13 years as a case management supervisor and a community organizer. So that community organizer piece is kind of what we talked a lot about. And I know that there's one of the things that I mentioned to Gloria is that I worked public housing and Section 8 properties with over 4,000 people in the public housing communities, as well as over 20,000 in Section 8, and making very large events with no budget. So that with the budget
that's
of zero.
without me.
Yeah, with the budget of zero. So some of those events was the San Antonio Father's Day event that served about anywhere between 900 and 1,300 people. The way that I did that was networking and organizing and talking to everybody. I know that that's always the biggest thing is, you know, building up those relationships, and I still have those relationships in the community. I'm currently a caseworker through the state of Texas, but for the next few months, I'm on leave, you know, so I have some time, and I did offer to guide and give information and help wherever I can, and, you know, utilize some of the things that I've done in the past. One of my biggest things that I was actually the most proud of is that I won a national award for a Wii Bowling program with WellMed, and that was for seniors and disabled people in our Saha elderly and disabled sites. So they still do it. WellMed does Wii Bowling for seniors at their Elvita Cisneros Center, but I created that. So, yeah, and it was, what we did is I got WellMed to sponsor the Wii systems, again, budget of zero. So I was like, hey, we can do a health component where we can show a measurable outcome of how seniors and disabled that are normally in home don't socialize very well, that we would do like surveys and health checks and have the nurses come out and check blood pressure, weight, and all of that stuff, and then do it in the beginning, and then 3 months later measure whether or not it was an increase in socialization, emotional well-being, as well as health benefits, and it was, and that's how we won the award. So that's what I have to offer. So if you guys are interested, I'm willing to help you guys out. Michael is here with me too as my guest. He has a lot of knowledge of AA and NAA meetings and has been wanting to support that however he can and do the outreach part of it.
Yeah.
So like maybe getting people involved. And so I don't know if you want to say anything.
Yeah, I just feel like being in recovery, I know there's other people here probably in recovery. And since COVID happened, there's a lot of online stuff going on and people just, want to get to a meeting and, share and, people in our community struggling or anybody here, just here to help our community and give back and pay it forward.
And I thought it was wonderful getting to meet her. She just reached out to me on the Nextdoor app and
I have a question.
Yes.
Could we have a private Facebook account for the AA people?
I don't think so.
we don't.
But what I would offer, Michael, is we need to get him in contact with CJ
Yes.
and Kathleen.
So CJ had reached out to me. I just didn't have all the answers and I don't want to give her like false information, but she kind of came up with a schedule, which I know is what is a starter because then those dates have to be turned into like headquarters.
National,
Yeah,
whatever.
headquarters or something. And they have to get approved so they could be on the schedule. And then they put that on their website for AANARA. And then people just say, okay, this is closer to me, right? That's how it works, or like OA. And then you just say, okay, this is closer to me. They drive here. So CJ had asked if it could be 4 days out of the week.
The only problem with doing that, I totally support that. We have to have people there to lead it.
Right. So she and right here,
Kathleen.
Kathleen, yeah, they got together, they discussed, and she had a couple of questions about the tables and chairs, how much would be available to them, about the covering of the cameras, the literature, if they would have somewhere to be able to store their books and stuff like that. I did tell her we have a storage room. Yeah, we could do all that. And she would like to start the meetings on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. and RA meetings on Wednesdays and Friday nights at 7 p.m. And of course, those are open to change, things like that. They're still waiting on the literature from RA, but they wanted to start an AA meeting on June 8th. Okay.
This month?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So they're ready to
Like the
go.
present.
Generally,
If
they're
somebody
very,
is in need, then let's not delay
And
it.
we're going to donate the
Yes.
first set of
Snacks.
snacks, like a box of snacks, because we really support this. We know
Right.
that the community needs it and we want to make sure that.
So
have
they
what
told me we need coffee, strong coffee, a
Yes.
designated
Strong coffee. yes.
strong coffee, a designated smoking area outside of the rec center. So I thought we could get like a bucket or something.
Well,
for the-
Yeah, we can
That's
do
me.
that.
Yeah.
And
That's
kind
normally
of-
what we're doing.
I don't know if we can circle back to your question on Facebook, but I know Michael belongs to Facebook support groups that are sober groups. And so like if somebody is needing a list of those, we can create a list that they can
Yeah, I have a couple groups
utilize.
that I'm-
Okay.
That they can utilize that are supportive groups and less of, you kind of weeded out some of the other ones.
Also, another thing that you had brought up to me when we got together was to have like a morning
Yeah.
meeting instead of doing all evening. So I'm yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to assume that morning time CJ is working. Maybe he or Kathleen can. lead
Yeah, I
one of
was
the
thinking
morning-
the 4 meetings, it sounds great, but we're kind of trying to get this going and I don't want to have something set in stone. So I thought maybe we start off with like 3 meetings or 2 meetings, maybe one in the morning, one in the afternoon, get it out there and then see. What do you think? Or do we just go full on jump in with both feet?
Well, let's ask Michael's opinion on this.
Well,
No?
I would say at least maybe 3 or 4 meetings.
Okay, so we go in
Yeah,
for,
we can go in full on. I mean, that's how you get people to come, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody might miss one day and be working one day and they can catch it the next day, you know. So you got 4 days to catch it within the week, so.
okay, and what I was thinking was they're gonna be held in the evenings, so it leaves us open room for during the day to do other activities.
I like the idea of a day meeting
Yeah,
as well, because, and I have no experience with any of this, but my thought is, not everybody works, and some of those who are struggling the most probably aren't working.
right,
Yeah.
And then they're here during the day.
idle hands, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
When
it could be
people need a
beneficial.
meeting, they need a meeting, and if there's no
Yeah.
meeting available, that's when you fall off the
Exactly.
wagon.
right.
Yeah.
So if there's a meeting to go to, then that's good. If you have,
And daytimes are really good because,
Yeah.
well, you wake up and that's when your mind starts going. You
Right.
know, and that's when somebody really needs it, as soon as you wake up, you know.
And you
So-
also gotta think about the people with children.
Exactly.
And so like the ones that have their children in daycare or they have, it's much easier to leave your child with a friend or somebody during the day than it is in the evening. And then also, some people are not just going to one meeting a week. They'll go to all 4 because that's the support that they need.
Yeah.
And so the more that, if you build it, they will come. You
Right.
know, it's that concept. So like, being that support, having that support. And so like with AA and NA, there are requirements for the people that run those meetings. So we have to also look at that as well. So like you may be able to do AA, NA, and maybe a peer support group where somebody that doesn't meet those qualifications yet can run this peer support group. And that could also be something that you implement in the day, where it wouldn't be maybe one day a week that you have a peer support group that is not just, because not everybody that is sober follows the AA.
Yeah. Not everybody
principles.
does the 12 steps. Some due to like religious backgrounds and
Mhm.
stuff like that, because the 12 steps is based on religious literature. So,
Oh, okay.
but it's not a religious organization or
It's a
anything. So anybody is
spiritual
welcome.
program.
Yeah, anybody is
Okay.
welcome.
So I do know, just as a kind of a side note, if anybody paid attention to what happened at County Commissioners Court today, did you hear? Lifetime Recovery that's over here on Southampton Road. County Commissioners allocated $4 million to expand because the need is so great. So whatever we can do to support that, I think is beneficial to those who need it and to the community as a total.
And probably reaching out to them to see what type of support they can offer here, even
Exactly.
if it's also just coming in and speaking to the community and having those community type meetings where you can bring in, agencies that are willing to support the community in different ways. And I'm not afraid to ask for anything. I will ask for a bus.
She's
if
gonna be
that's
my
what we
foreman.
If we need a bus, I will call people and ask for a bus. The
Well,
worst
do
they
we
can
need a
tell me
bus?
is no.
You never know.
Yeah, so like I'm like
road
Mickey.
trip.
I will ask everybody for anything and just
Say no.
yeah, say no, move on to the next one.
So my question is, how does the word get out that we're having these meetings?
Well,
Because they reach out to the national and regional and local
Yeah.
offices
Okay.
looking for a meeting. And we would be registered as a location. And so they
Gotcha.
know where to go.
Right, and then there's an app also. Wherever you're at and you need a meeting, you just log into the app and it'll tell you the closest meeting where you're at. So if you're
Wow.
working and you need a meeting during your lunch break and you're by Nacogdoches and you don't know where there's a meeting, you go into the app, it'll tell you where the next meeting is.
wow.
Yeah.
or you
And
can
there's
call
always a
in
good
too.
old fashioned way,
You can
word of
call
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
That's
the
probably
key
the best.
here is consistency. They have to be, we set the times, we set the
Right.
dates, and we stick to them.
Okay, well, I have my calendar here, so then I'll get back to CJ and I'll tell her those dates are,
Connect Michael with CJ and Kathleen as
yes,
well.
I will. Okay, so anybody on the AA meeting? Because I also have another thing with the rec center.
Well, I'm just curious about, okay, during these AA meetings, nobody can be there but the AA people. Is that correct?
And the
Yes.
host or the people who are coordinators or whatever their official
Yes.
title is.
Okay, so who closes and opens the building and all that stuff?
Whoever's the coordinator, whoever's opening up, whoever's assigned to open up and speak, or
Would that be?
Okay, so
CJ?
Gloria can open it? And
she can open or close it, or whoever.
I'm not
so
gonna
it's not that secret that,
No,
Okay,
it's
well, we
not.
can
No,
do-
it's not that secretive. It's just like open up the building. Whoever's gonna be the speak, like you
That's
pick a
what-
topic. You
that's
pick a
what CJ
topic
had
from
said
the
about being a
12
key
separate-
holder.
Yeah,
Key holders, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
And so what we can do is for the key holders, we can set codes on there. And that way we know who is coming and going.
I mean, I live
I
a
know.
hop, skip, and a jump away from the park. I have no problem with
Yeah.
going, and if there's snacks, and
Right.
sit down and
Except
talk.
for the-
Snacks and
they're for
coffee, yes.
AA and NA.
I would like to. I could attend, right, and
Yeah,
just
anybody
kind
could
of
attend.
understanding.
It's open meeting.
Yeah,
Anybody
it's
can attend.
understanding. I
Anybody
wouldn't
that's
mind it.
Oh,
curious.
it is?
Yeah, I wouldn't
Anybody that
mind.
has a family, maybe you're not a recovery addict. Maybe you have a grandson. Maybe you have a son or somebody that you know somewhere along the line that needs help. So you want to understand how that person is thinking.
Oh, okay.
Or what they're
Okay.
going
Yeah.
through. I think that would be nice.
Okay.
Compassion, you know, you learn.
So what days and times are you?
So it
looking?
would be, she said, give me a second, let me pull that up again. I have it right here. So Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. and RA meetings on Wednesday and Friday nights at 7 p.m. Do we take one of the evening nights out and sneak in a day meeting, or do we keep all 4 evenings and just add a day?
And I'm thinking maybe Friday night, turn that into a day.
Okay,
And I only say that because the building is going to be available for rentals.
right,
And
That
those
was
are
another
probably gonna
thing.
be Friday and Saturday. night.
right. Oh, okay, smart, yes. I think that works. Let me write that down. So,
Friday into a day.
yeah. During the day, what do you think works like during the day? Because these are at 7 p.m.
I used to go to the day meeting and it started at 7:30.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
wow.
went for about an hour.
Wow. I think that's very early. Yeah, I know.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
that was
I mean,
before.
but
Well,
they,
he
but,
said-
but they always have they have different ones that go like one at 7:30, one at 9:30. It just depends on how early you want to.
May I say something?
Yeah,
Okay, they have groups and they have clubs. And we're gonna have groups. The people that are available at one location 24 hours a day are clubs.
Yeah.
oh,
Groups are more,
Yeah,
get
you can have a
together, we're
meeting
local
anytime.
once or twice a week for an hour. So you have to make sure you have enough people to speak for an hour, because a meeting lasts an hour.
yeah. Okay,
So other than
When I first
7:30,
went, it was 90 meetings in 90 days. I was first introduced to the program in 1986. I made 4 years sobriety, then I fell off the wagon. Then I got sober again for a while, I can't remember. Then I got drunk for a long time. Right now I'm about a month shy of 14 years.
Yeah, you.
So I have a fairly good understanding of how it works.
Struggles.
Yes, it's not easy.
no,
It takes the power greater than yourself to get out of yourself.
wonderful.
So
So what do you think? What do you suggest?
other than 7:30 in the
Well,
morning.
It's-
Well, you know, you can
Well,
always
except when you
change the
first
time
start.
if you're not getting the draw that you think you would. If 7:30 doesn't work, you change it to 8:30.
Yeah, 8:30, 9:30.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't think more than 2 meetings a week would be.
That's
That'd
what
be
I was
sufficient.
asking.
yeah. To
I
start
have
with.
literature in my truck that I got from the AA club here. The
Oh,
head- the
great.
head club, big book and the directory and stuff. You can have it.
I got a
you.
big book too. You know, you can use mine too.
Yeah, I could probably get some of my friends. They're like super sober house managers and stuff, and I could probably get some people to donate some books too.
Okay.
Some people I have.
I think
contact
she
with.
mentioned that they were trying to get that literature.
The
Yeah.
chances are good that some of the people on Mathis Road at that halfway house will be coming.
That's
You don't
fine.
mind? Okay.
I mean, no, it's up, anybody
Yeah.
who needs
I
it.
understand.
If we start a meeting, it has to be open to
I
everybody.
understand.
Yeah.
And I
So,
mean, again, the people who need it the most, we want to make sure that they have.
so should we do the 4 meetings and then if we see that they're not really getting full or, do we
Do
dial
you
it
do that,
down?
or does the coordinators,
Well, see,
That's
before I want to respond to CJ, I kind of wanted to get the dates.
will do the dates and give it to her and let her run with it, because that's all handled from a bigger.
Their perspective.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I put it on here because I don't want to book somebody else and then, because that was what
You
I
want a
was gonna.
firm date?
So
Yes.
Megan mentioned the app. I'm curious, do either one of you have the app on your phone?
You had it on yours before, but I think.
I'm just kind of curious.
Oh, yeah, we
If
can
you,
just
let's
switch.
say you're sitting here and you're like, man, I really need a meeting.
Let me pull
When
that
it
up.
pulls up, where are there any
Yeah.
meetings? Let's supplement what's
I
out
have
there.
it.
That's how we found your.
He has it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Megan has it on her.
The humidity in
I have mine on the laptop.
the dampness. from the
If I can
rain.
find it. I may not have.
One thing we need to talk about is getting some kind of a contract.
You just press on Google AA meeting hearing, and it'll show you.
Right.
Yeah,
Ah.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Uh-huh.
Anyone hear you?
So I was just
Yeah.
curious, I mean, if we don't want to
You can have
duplicate,
the-
Yeah.
there's something that's already closed, we want to fill in a blank.
Yes.
Well, there isn't, I know that when I looked for him,
Yeah.
the closest one was, by,
I don't know
what is that
exactly how
called?
that'll all
The
work,
VC.
but we definitely.
and it was in Spanish. The Via Coronado, yeah, and it was in Spanish.
And then they just.
So that was the closest one, because when he had his third year, we were looking for ones, and then he could go to a meeting and he couldn't find one.
Coordinated between you and.
So that's been a while though, so let me look here.
Catherine or, Catherine was doing the court stuff in Charlotte Raby. She's in the, she used to be the secretary at Taney's. But,
So maybe that's a takeaway, is to kind of look and see what the schedules are, and let's pick times and
Okay.
dates that fill in the blanks.
Okay.
you know, because if there's a bunch around, you don't want to be.
May need to be bilingual too.
Bilingual.
Bilingual meetings.
I think you'll probably have enough people in the meetings that speak both languages and can interpret if you have to. So you said you had another topic.
I do. So I've been reached out by somebody interested in renting the facility for a baby shower in October. I, again, didn't want to give her false information or anything like that. So she was asking if there's a contract, deposit. So how would that be handled?
We have not done that. So what I would think we need to do, Tom, is
Oh, we'll put it on the next
on the
agenda.
next agenda and figure out how
I know we talked about it in the past, yeah, and I
But I
thought
don't think we ever,
I think we came up with a price, but we were just batting it around. Yeah, so we'll put it on the next agenda to come up with a
that's a good idea.
rental price. Yeah.
Okay,
Security deposit.
security
damage
deposit, yes.
you know,
And
any of
how
that kind of-
long?
How long?
long would it
by
be?
hour, minimum hour, what about deposit and cleanup? I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
because I know the, bless you,
Bless you.
thank you.
Mhm.
The pavilion, it goes through like Catherine and stuff like that.
Yeah, that whole calendar thing needs to be revamped.
Okay, so yeah,
Well, we're gonna need to do
Okay.
something if we're gonna have a market day this month, but we can't talk about that right now.
We'll put it on the next agenda.
Okay.
And like I said before, you guys, if you have topics you want to put on the agenda, just get it to the city secretary before the end of Friday, because I may not think of everything.
yeah,
Okay, anything else, Gloria?
that's it.
Okay,
Anything else, anybody?
anybody
Still
else
on it?
have a discussion for this
The
agenda
rec
item?
center?
Okay, so I'll move on to agenda item number 5, and since Charles isn't here, discuss possible action on timeline for erection of the flagpoles. And the only thing we don't have for the flagpoles right now is the purchase the PVC pipe put inside the 1.5-inch PVC pipe, and we'll take care of that. We'll get about 40 feet since we have 2 flagpoles to stick inside so that we can.
You can't ignore her.
This is the roofer. I'm in a meeting. I can call you back in a couple minutes, okay? Okay, go ahead. Told him I was in a meeting.
Price is going up.
You better answer
You're
it before the price
wasting
goes
your
up.
I just told him to do it. I don't want water pouring through my roof
Oh,
again.
okay, just do it.
Okay, so as I said, we're going to just purchase the PVC pipe. I spoke to Charles about this before the meeting at the car dealer, wherever he is. And once we get that, we'll try and set a time where we can go out and put both flagpoles up. I know we set a place up there at the begin near the fence on here in the administrative,
Municipal complex.
the municipal complex. I can't remember what we talked about. And then, of course, down there in the park area. And we'll do that, and hopefully we'll have
I
a,
apologize for not getting the PVC when John and I went.
Yeah,
to
I-
the
yeah,
girls, I totally forgot.
yeah, Charles cussed you out for it. No, he didn't. He
Inch and
didn't.
a half, yeah, 2 20-foot sections.
Yeah. I didn't think 2-inch would fit in there, but
Now, Charles told me 1.5 inches.
yeah, he measured it. Yeah, so I will, we'll get that, and we'll get those flagpoles up. It's too bad we didn't have them up for Memorial Day, so, but we'll get that
They
done.
will be by next Memorial Day.
They'll be
I hope
They'll
so,
be
yeah.
by the 4th of July, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, the 4th of July.
Well, I don't think you lower them half staff for 4th of July. It's kind of complicated on Memorial Day. You have to put them up to
I think we did,
half staff only till noon, and then when you lower them, when you bring them back up to full staff at noon, you have to
Oh, I
lower
didn't
them
know
all the
that.
way down and then bring them all the way back up.
Oh,
did we get American and Texas flags? Or just an American flag?
I think it's
I
just
think we got
American.
both.
Oh.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I think we got both American and Texas
We
flags.
did, yeah.
I think so, yeah, if I remember correctly. But if we didn't, we can get them down there at Dixie flags. So, but I think we got both. So, any more discussion on the flagpoles? If not, I will move on to agenda item 6, and we can adjourn.
And the time?
7:13.
It is 7:14. And I will turn it off.